and welcome to This or That podcast again. This week we're going to be looking at a couple films that have some similarities. Who would have thought, eh? And these films today are Treasure Planet and Atlantis, both Disney classics, kind of the end of the Renaissance era of that, when basically they stopped making money, so they stopped making 2D animation. This week, I'm joined by Ed Brown.
Hello.
And Jules Masters.
Hello.
I guess we'll do some synopsis first.
Yeah.
So Treasure Planet is Treasure Island, if you didn't realise that before, which is a old book by someone, Stevenson, I didn't write it down. It's a pretty straightforward story, you know, the Long John Silver and blah, blah, blah. Boy who doesn't have a father figure and he wants adventure, basically is thrust into adventure because in this version, is it a cyborg that lands or is it just an alien that lands?
No, he says beware the cyborg.
Yeah, beware the cyborg.
He's a tortoise or something, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's like a tortoise.
Yeah. Which is great. I love all the creatures in this.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them.
No, I love all the designs.
Well, even the farty fella.
He's the best.
We are going to have some disagreement.
We'll get to that. I mean, you're a farty fella.
Well, yeah, maybe stepping on my...
On my stick.
my thing.
But basically, he's given a map, and he from this guy that crash lands. He's like, hide the map, beware the cyborg. Do I have the fiendish cyborg? That's the quote. Beware the fiendish cyborg. And so he hides it. They come, burn down his mother's B&B. Yeah, they get out. Him, his mum, and David Hyde Pierce, who's great. And then they figure out the map to get to Treasure Planet, which is across the galaxy. So they charter a ship, which is led by Emma Thompson. She's the cat lady.
Yeah.
And they go on this adventure. And it's crazy. There's like, he's put in the gallows with a cook, and the cook seems to be a cyborg. Isn't that crazy? And it sets up, and we'll get to the end later, but that's pretty much the film and the development of these characters on the ship looking for Treasure Planet itself. But on the other hand, we have Atlantis, which is Milo, whatever his name, which is Thatch, thank you. Which is played by Michael J. Fox. His granddad was believed to be an old kook that believed in Atlantis and believed it had power and all this stuff. The movie starts with the destruction of Atlantis, doesn't it? That is how it starts, which is great. The animation in Atlantis is really good, I think. So then he's like, his granddad's been disproven, and then he's working at the university and he thinks it's real and everyone thinks he's a crackpot just like his granddad. And then his granddad's mate comes and picks him up, says, no, you're all right, and it's all real. Don't know why I didn't tell you this before. You've been living 20 years, in poverty because everyone thinks you're crazy. I probably should have told you first. So then they charter a crew to go on an adventure. So the similarities already, you know. A colourful cast of characters. And they go on an adventure into the deep blue sea to find Atlantis.
Yes.
And adventures occur once more. So, anybody have any jumping off points for these films? Anything that come to your mind straight away?
I think it's important to note that they are a year apart. Treasure Planet came out in 2002 and Atlantis came out in 2001.
Yeah, it was when a lot of these types of films were being released as well, I think, like Tarzan, Fantasia, Emperor's Groove.
Yeah.
Well, so like the 90s is the Renaissance era of Disney films. That's what they call it. So that's all those films. Mulan, Mermaid. This is the noughties. And these films are the death of Disney films like this. These two films are the reason Disney don't make these anymore. Unfortunately, I think, because I think they're some of the best.
I was going to say, these, out of all the Disney films I've watched, like, these are probably my favourite too, for sure. Just because they're so different.
Had you watched them before, Jules?
Yeah.
As a child, or?
No. I didn't really watch.
Have you watched them because me and Ed have put them on?
Yeah, maybe. I think I maybe spoke to you in college once, and you were like, "Watch these Disney films," and I was like, "All right." And they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I like the style of them. I prefer.
That's what we were doing in college.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
these Disney films, bro.
Yeah. Coming to the party at the weekend? Nah, got these Disney films to watch.
No, I'm watching Atlantis.
Yeah. I prefer the look of this animation style.
Yeah, I
much
love it.
more
I love
than
it.
later animation styles for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it does follow the typical storyline of, as Callum said at the start, of adventure and, colourful characters and...
A special boy who doesn't realise he's a special boy.
Yeah, exactly. But I quite like...
Don't we all want to be a special boy at the end of the
There
day?
was a bit where when I was researching this, where it said that Treasure Planet was generally well received, but it was performed poorly commercially, which is like what Callum said about they were the death. But
it was released at the same time as Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and also Lord of the Rings.
Is that how old Harry Potter is?
Yeah.
It's old.
know.
So I think I saw that and was like, well,
You're never
going to
do well.
Some
Yeah.
tricky business.
But it's good. I like both stories. I think they're both great. But Atlantis is cool because it's like delving into the unknown, and same with Treasure Planet really. But Atlantis is more. I think when I watched Treasure Planet as a kid, I loved that one more because it didn't have it was just about the adventure. Like there wasn't any romance or anything in it. That I think that's why I liked it so much as a kid, because I was just like, it's just about the adventure, and I like that. I just want it to be about the adventure.
I mean, I'm a big fan of space, so that's why I preferred it more as a kid. All the shots of space are gorgeous in Treasure Planet. Some of the 3D animation, like when they go to the crescent moon star, what is it? What would you call it?
Space station. Or spaceport.
Spaceport, that's it. Thank you. That is a little clunky with the turning 3D. Still fine.
Yeah.
But there's some shots where they're just flying through space and it's obviously a static background. And I'm just like, oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely. The purples and the pinks and the cosmos and blah.
What did you think of the way the stylized decision of just making it like the sea but space?
Yeah.
Ships are not.
I'm a huge fan of space being either very piratey or cowboy-y.
Yeah.
The final frontier, as it were. So therefore, you bring it back to explorers.
How it's not real in terms of their actual ships, seafaring.
Oh yeah, the seafaring ships. Yeah, I love it. I think it's
big
cool.
Style decision, isn't it? Which is quite
it's
nice.
that level of fantasy which I think I like, because my first note is it's D&D in space.
Yeah.
And there is another tabletop game which is escaping me at the moment, which is basically just this. You can just play this game.
Well, they're adventure based, aren't they?
And they've put it in D&D now as well. You can buy the campaigns to basically play Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Well, it lends itself pretty well to it, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah. And I have a friend that his whole campaign is very much being pirates and having flying ships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before D&D even brought it out. So I think it's a good blend. And it doesn't explain anything because it doesn't need to. It's a children's film. So I kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
Like how they breathing, and the space whales. It don't fucking matter because it's fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars,
But Star Wars
It's
tries to
bollocks.
explain it.
Yeah, and Star Wars, well, it does now. Whereas back then, those
But they would
original
use,
ones.
They would use fancy words, wouldn't they?
Parsec.
Transpondery parsec.
But they use parsec in the wrong context or whatever, don't they?
Up to the level of 5,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Whatever Han Solo does, the Kessler run. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Something like that.
No idea.
Yeah. Whereas this is just he, you see him build his own glider thing in the beginning.
Yeah.
So later in the film, when he improvises a glider, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say how it works, and it's like anti-gravity cells in the bottom of something, and blah blah. We don't need that. I think the only thing it says is it's solar powered. Because of course it would be.
Yeah.
Of course it would be. The sails are solar powered, and they use solar energy they instead of being on the wind, they're on the
Solar.
waves of solar energy and stuff like that, which I think is interesting. Like when the fucking supernova,
Yeah.
when it supernovas and then turns into a black hole, that looks incredible.
Yeah, it was cool.
The animation of this is so good. It's so good, and Atlantis is good in different ways. It's blue, so like the main colour's blue, so it's a lot colder and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like colourful and bright, and
The guys that made it, I think, were allowed to make it because they were successful beforehand. So I think I can't quite remember what I researched, but it was like they'd done some successful films beforehand, and so Disney said, "Yes, you can make this film now." And
which is pretty much like how that's how they were like running their studio. Basically, it's like they would have someone. It's like Lion King was the B team.
Yeah.
Famously the B team because they thought Pocahontas was
Gonna
be the really big one.
Yeah.
So like if you were working on Lion King, you weren't thought as highly, I guess. And then obviously they smashed it. But it was their thing of like you would be an animator and then maybe you'd move up and like co-direct a film and then you'd come forward with what you wanted to do. And they'd take a risk on it.
Yeah, big risk.
And then after these films, they stopped taking those risks. They played into marketing and researching the shit out of what works and what will get a big return on investment.
Yeah.
And basically Pixar as well, I think, just killed it. They killed themselves because 2D animation is so expensive.
Yeah.
But it looks so good.
Yeah, it's cool. I think, I liked how the style of them all was very steampunky. And with the choice of, as you say, about the ships and piratey space stuff, I think it plays out in another way too, because in real life, in the olden days, sailors would use the stars as a way of navigation.
Yeah.
So, and I like it when people take a well-known story like Treasure Island or any kind of well-known story and smash it into another genre that makes it a bit more interesting. But yeah, I loved both of these films as a child. I had them both on VHS and would watch the shit out of them all the time.
Me too. I mean, we'll focus on Treasure Planet for the moment, but like the characters in Treasure Planet I think are incredible. The relationship between Jim.
James, but yeah, Jim.
Yeah, because they call him James, don't they? all the time.
Yeah,
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, my lad. That's what they call it. The relationship between Jim and the cyborg, a.k.a. Long John Silver, is beautiful. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
And like, especially being older now, I kind of wrote that, it's like, it's having someone believe in you, but it's not just important to have someone that believes in you, which is what he becomes. He becomes the father figure to Jim, and you know, you got the makings of greatness in you. That's the big line. It's also Jim being able to accept that. You can't just have someone believe in you. You also need to be in an open enough or safe enough space to accept it.
Yeah.
And like accept love and all that kind of stuff, which is obviously what he works to, but he shuts everyone out at the start and blah, blah, blah. And it also turns around on Long John Silver because big plot twist, if you know nothing about Treasure Island or this story, which I would find incredible, is that he's the evil cyborg that wants and has wanted this for his whole life because he used to be on the ship of Flint and he's buried his treasure somewhere out in the galaxy, Treasure Island, somewhere on an island, and he can't remember where it was because Long John Silver was a cabin boy on, I think that's the story, he was a cabin boy on Flint's ship and then worked himself up and him and Flint were close. Black Sails does the prequel of Treasure Island and it's a very good TV show, so I highly recommend that if you are.
Never heard of it.
No, it's on Stars. Stars with a Z. Yeah.
Was
That well-known streaming service.
Yeah. It's really good, and it's about Flint and his story. It's really good. I recommend that if you're interested in like pirate stuff at all, because it does the whole pirate haven place.
Oh, what, like the
like Tortuga?
Tortuga.
Yeah. But Tortuga's fake, is it? Tortuga, the fake one? But
that's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's in Pirates of the Caribbean. So I think that's the fake one, and then I can't remember the real name.
Because
Because pirates are very interesting. They're basically like communists, essentially. Like they had societies and they had rules and all this stuff.
It was a very short period of time where
and it is a very short period of time as well. It's like cowboys.
Yeah,
Cowboys are only like 40 years or something.
They got knocked on the head pretty quick, didn't it? Yeah,
but they're so impactful. Which is incredible.
Well, certainly on culture,
yeah.
And I always find it funny how if anyone asks you to do an impression of a pirate, you do the sort of like a husky Cornish accent,
which is Flint, I believe. I believe that's
Captain Flint is the.
And he abandoned the British Navy, and he was from Cornwall, and that's what everyone. Or is that Blackbeard?
There's so many
because they're all myths as well, so you don't even know what's real and what's not. That's the whole point of them, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because then the thing about Blackbeard is like he used to light his beard on fire
when he went into battle,
and that would create this illusion of like this spirit, and that's where some of the myth. It's cool.
It is very cool stuff.
Because there's another show by Taika Waititi and Rhys Darby, Our Flag Means Death. And the way they show off pirates is that basically they're all super flamboyant. Because that's what they were. They were doing everything for show.
Well, it's like parrots on shoulders, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's all very flamboyant.
It's all big hats, earrings.
Big hats.
They're all making. They all make their own flags. Like it's perceived that the only flag you see is the one with the skull and crossbones. No, every ship had their own flag. They would design and make, and all their clothes are all hand stitched and themes running basically in the show that Taika does. They're all just gay. Every single one of them is just gay.
Having a lovely time.
Just having a lovely time aboard. Yeah, it's just men
sailing. Like it's a new
sewing.
It's like gay cruise.
They sing. Obviously, they're doing shanties.
Yeah. Drinking rum, sewing, and
What do they say
singing.
on Friends?
It sounds
Jamie's like, go on a gay cruise. It's basically what they were doing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Watch more Friends, God.
I've seen Friends. I still don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
No.
Cut that.
Whatever. Moving on.
Move past
it.
Forget
Forget it. Move on. We'll never get it.
But yeah, I think obviously they're the standout characters, especially the cyborg. But I think Emma Thompson is good in it. I really like
Captain Amelia.
Yeah, I really like David Hyde Pierce. I think
Gilbert. Dilbert. Sorry, Dilbert.
Yeah, Dilbert's. I've written down he's top. He's some guy.
I think he's always good in stuff, and he seems like a nice.
Go Dilbert.
The only character that's really annoying is Ben, the robot at the end.
Yeah,
and I thought it was Woody Allen, but it's not Woody Allen, so that's good. It's Martin Short, and Martin Short is annoying. Because he's very on. He's just on. He's just like, nah.
He seems like he's having a good time.
He seems like an all right bloke, and him and the other Martin's got that show, Only Murdering in the Building, whatever.
To be fair, the robot's had a hard time, though, hasn't he?
He's had a pretty hard time.
Potential for him to be a pretty.
He's literally had his brain ripped out of his head. So,
and he's been on his own for ages.
Yeah. Well, wait, it wouldn't actually be that long.
How long would it be?
Well, if Long John Silver was on that ship, but then he's a skeleton as well. Flint's a skeleton.
Yeah, because it's Flint. No, but the guy. Yeah, because he's.
But Long John Silver used to be on Flint's ship.
Oh, did he?
That's the story.
Flint.
But then he is shown to be a skeleton, but that's because it's...
The cyborg's pretty old, though. That cyborg could be pretty old. I guess you don't know how old the cyborg is.
I guess in the context of Treasure Planet, yeah. But in my mind, obviously, I'm mixing it with Treasure Island, and it's only actually like 30 years.
30 years is quite a long time to be on your own.
I mean, yes. Yeah.
And then there's the little pink morph.
Morph, I like Morph. I mean, it's just Flubber, basically.
Yeah.
Just another good film. You ever watched that?
Yeah. The one with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Well, that was, funnily enough, about Robin Williams, I always got Ben mixed up with, because there's another film called Robots. It's not, I don't think it's Disney, but
DreamWorks.
Robin Williams is a robot, and I always think I'm going to hear Robin Williams as Ben.
I know this town like the back of my hand. Ooh, that's new.
Yeah. And like, because but the robots in that DreamWorks one look very similar to Ben. Like they're drawn the same way.
Yeah.
I like the police robots as well.
I wrote they're basically the robots out of Futurama.
Yeah.
When they call him a loser, I enjoy it. Loser.
Yeah, I like all.
Are you the boy's father? No. Back off, sir.
Yeah, I like all the designs in this. There's a two-headed salesperson when they're in like the moon spaceport, which I thought was just little attentions to details that I think are really
Two-headed salesperson.
yeah,
Two-faced.
Two-faced. So clever. God, so clever.
God, that's so clever.
And I'm so clever for recognising that. Obviously.
Yeah, I like the fart guy, the flatulent guy. Yeah,
The lobster guy is suitably menacing.
He's really creepy, man. I don't like him.
Yeah.
He's got like it's like a scorpion spider man, isn't he? He's got like a stinger and claws, and he's got long legs.
Yeah,
the sort of dark purple black one.
Yeah, the really evil one.
It's like an evil Zoidberg.
Yeah,
like the one
yeah.
out of Monsters Inc. Is that which one was that?
Randor, you thinking of?
Yeah, he's a bit. Yeah, I mean they're all virtually much.
Well, yeah. I guess when you give like an elongated,
Like legsy and
because we're like, I guess, like built to not like those types of things.
And then there's Mr. Harrow, who's the first mate.
Oh, I love
to
Mr.
the
Harrow.
captain.
oh yeah, big
Big
strong stone
rock man.
Rock man.
Yeah.
Rock
With
man.
the huge jaw.
Yeah.
Crimson chin.
Yeah. Crimson. That was a deep cut. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, well, you come to the right place if you want deep cuts.
Yeah. I like him. I like the whole colourful cast of characters that's on the ship. I like how the evil guy, the scorpion guy, kills him in the supernova. In the black hole.
To make Jim look bad.
To make Jim look bad. It should be easily noticeable that the rope has been snipped by claws, though, instead of just like...
Well, the rope's gone, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the wooden bit snaps off, so they don't know.
No, he snips it.
The rope is just gone.
He's just disappeared. He's just gone.
So he's just not tied it properly, and it's just gone.
But he snipped it.
Yeah, he snips it with his
rope's gone.
claws.
It's not. He might have. That's the whole point. Did you not watch this film? Barry?
Yeah. But the whole rope is gone, though. It's not like just the bit that's tied is left. It's just like everything is gone. Because it's about him not tying it properly.
Yeah. So he's gone rid of it after the fact as well.
Probably,
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
So yeah, he got rid of the rope so they couldn't identify that
snipping.
it had been snipped.
Yeah.
But then Mr. Harrow falls into the supernova or the black hole or whatever.
Which is cool how they do the riding out the supernova, because it's the same way you would ride out a big wave. Is that you go head on. You don't turn the ship, because if you turn the ship, you'll capsize.
Yeah.
So you got to hit a big wave if you want to go over it anyway.
Have you seen the videos of like Deadliest Catch and stuff like that, where they're in the Atlantic or like the North Sea, and they're like hitting those waves?
Yeah, man,
And they
it looks
fucking
terrifying.
horrible.
Or when it's just super dark, and
Yeah.
they get even like, they show you how powerful this flashlight is, but then it's pitch black and they do it and you can't see it fuck all. They'll do it like in the day, or when it's like not as dark. You can see it goes on for like fucking a mile.
Miles. Yeah.
And then they do it in pitch black and you're like, what is it? What's the noise? Do.
Yeah, the sea shanties though.
That's what they always play on Instagram Reels, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it looks horrible. They are paid a lot, but not for me.
Not enough for me to do it.
Yeah, especially if you're on the deck and you're just slipping around. You're gonna die.
I mean, I get like really seasick anyway.
I don't.
The last time I was on a boat, I had to. I was on seasick pills the whole time, and it was. Yeah.
What, for that 2-week cruise you were taking seasick?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I mean, it was fine. I wasn't sick because of the pills, but
otherwise
but
it wouldn't work.
it is.
Do you not just get used to it after a while?
No.
Well, he's on the pills the whole time, so I don't know.
I sort of negated that risk of
So you couldn't live a life on the sea?
no.
Well, unless he was going to get addicted to sea pills.
I don't. The thing I don't like in Treasure Planet, to go back to the films we're talking about, is there is a montage of them bonding, which I don't think is great. I don't think the music choices are particularly. It ages the film so much.
It's so cheesy, man.
Yeah.
So cheesy.
Whereas I can't remember what the songs are in Atlantis. But I remember thinking these fit much better, and they're
Montage heavy, though.
in Atlantis.
Yeah.
Atlantis moves at a fucking clip. Like it never stops. Like the film ends and you go, bloody hell.
Well, if we go
It feels
into
like it flies by.
There's too much not in Atlantis for me.
No, see, I like how you get
There
there.
is a
I like
sequel,
it.
though. There is a sequel. I've never watched the sequel.
Don't.
Okay,
Never
cool.
watch a Disney sequel.
Never.
No.
Apart from Shrek 2, which is actually alright.
I've never watched Atlantis
Disney.
2.
Oh my god, animation then. It's all the same.
Sure.
I refuse to watch Atlantis 2. Absolutely refuse.
Milo's return? Yeah.
Because they return to the surface.
They return to the surface because
and look for
She's
clues?
ill, I think. Let's talk about the first one. Right? Let's not talk about the sequel none of us watched.
Yeah. Well, it's more of like
Hypothetical.
I didn't want to ruin how I felt about Atlantis because I knew that it would be rubbish.
Well, that's
exactly.
Even as a child, I knew that it would be rubbish, so I just left it as it was.
Yeah. I mean,
As a child.
Even as a child, I had the foresight.
yeah. I mean,
Where has that foresight gone? I don't know.
I do like Atlantis, and I think Atlantis has grown on me more. Even though I did like it as a kid, it's grown on me more as I've grown up, I think.
Yeah.
Because it moves at a clip, which is great for an animated film. You don't want to be bored. There's always something happening in Atlantis. Like it's so
Attention grabbing.
kinetic. Like as soon as you're in the ship, it doesn't stop. Really.
Yeah, they find the place pretty quickly, and then they're getting attacked by that big monster pretty
They
quick.
get attacked by that, and then they get all their vehicles out, safe for a moment. Then they get attacked by fireflies. Then they got to get away from that, and then they got to dig, and then they got to blow a hole up, and then they're at Atlantis, and then all the stuff with Atlantis kicks off, and it's like you're not welcome here. And then they go find some stuff, and they go for a swim, a lovely swim, and a sexy swim.
Well, that is the female character. That is her role, is
To be sexy.
to be sexy and not do anything else really.
Confuse a little boy.
Yeah, be into the
I
main
was
character.
confused.
I was confused. But I liked it.
Had a massive crush on her, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She's not interesting, but I like her.
She's kind of
Well, she could
interesting.
be- yeah, but
because
she's got
she
developed.
fights. I like. She has some agency and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's what I
She's
mean,
got
but
cool
those-
tattoos as well, so they
Yeah.
glow.
And I can't get
I like the white hair.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Noted.
Noted.
Can't go unsaid.
Yeah. But I like overall. I like Atlantis-y stuff. I like the myth. I
you
think
like conspiracy, yeah?
Yeah, I like conspiracy stuff, and I always have. So yeah, I like it. I like when it pops up in media. I like it in Stargate a lot. I like Stargate Atlantis. I think that's a cool
Yeah.
way to do it. But I love the design of this version of Atlantis. That it's
Underground.
rocks almost. It's like smooth rocks and
Like underneath the earth.
no, like the design of it is like Aztec-y and
Oh, I see,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But they just have this energy source that like is not circuitry based. Well, I guess it is with the flying fish stuff, but it's more of a life force.
Yeah, it's an energy. Energy
Yeah.
life force.
And I like that. And I like when that kind of stuff is done. But also that it's like a spherical city. I mean, I've talked about that.
Yeah, you have
With
some length. Yeah.
numerous times. I love a spherical city. I think they just make sense.
On a wheel.
Why wouldn't it make sense?
It does make sense.
It makes sense. But I love that. I love the whole design. I love that it's on top of a thing, and that it's like it's in a volcano, right? Or the volcano's right next to it.
It's near it, yeah.
It's how they escape. So the water's pooling off and cooling the magma, I think, and that's why the volcano doesn't
A bit like
go
Terry
off.
Pratchett kind of vibes. Kind of
Yeah,
funky.
yeah. Just a little funky. I love it. And this film is also gorgeous.
Yeah.
There is a scene at the start where he's talking about the granddad, and there's a like a lobster tank,
Yes.
and there's light refraction happening through this big ass fish tank on them. So there's like animated light refraction, which I assume is like 3D. It must be, right? For someone to draw that.
I mean,
On top.
You can draw it.
I have no
I know you can,
idea.
but like it looks
Have you seen the
lit.
stone
It looks
statues?
lit.
The stone statues
fuck.
have it where like there's a woman behind a veil and they've carved it out of stone.
Yes, I have seen. I've seen. I saw one video that was like there's a specific muscle that is carved in, and that only happens when you have your arm in a certain way.
The tendony bit.
And for someone to understand like human biology so much when. Because of like Greek or whatever, it's like crazy. or
Well,
whatever.
I mean,
so I
yeah.
get it, like it's possible, but it looks amazing.
It's
Because
just-
it looks real.
It's just that, like, I think the thing about that is it's just the attention to detail.
Yeah.
Is the main.
They didn't need to
factor.
put a fish tank in that scene.
No.
They decided
they're showing off.
that they're showing off what they can
And
do.
we're there for it.
But also, like, it makes sense that he would have a big ass fish tank because it's all about Atlantis. Like, it's kind of illuminating what is to come. you know,
That foreshadowing.
the foreshadowing
Yeah.
of it all. That,
Yeah, if you're into water, then you can have some water in your house.
yeah,
Should be.
yeah, cool. Yeah, it makes sense.
And it's
doesn't it?
better than like a fountain or something. Like he's got an actual.
Well, let's not cast shade on fountains.
Because the scene's very cool because it's all super dark as well. Like I love it whenever they're in that rich guy's house, the kook's house. I like the way it's lit. He also has I got a random note which says he has a vase at one point which has the Great Wave.
Oh, like the tsunami.
The many views of Mount Fuji or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's just someone's just gone. I love this painting. I'm going to throw it in. That's just a random
There's a reason why they did
just
Atlantis, right? Because you look back on, like, sometimes when you're like a child, especially, like, you look back on films and you're like, oh, obviously you would do these stories, but Atlantis is only one of the stories you could do. So obviously they were interested in that story and they wanted to tell it. So they've got like little bits and pieces they want to put in.
Yeah, I mean, like if these films didn't, you know, not to spoil, when we get to budget and stuff, like did better. I wonder what kind of funky
the stories they
would have gone.
Because is there a Disney Roman story?
Not really.
The Prince of Egypt is DreamWorks. It's not.
Yeah, that's DreamWorks.
And that didn't do well. That was in the same area.
Emperor's New Groove's like Aztec-y, isn't it?
Which is
Aztec Incas. That's kind of vibe.
Inca, yeah. Which is Disney.
Yeah, that's Disney. And then
is that after these?
Emperor's New Groove is a couple of years after this. I think that's
but
like
that
2003.
Did well.
Yeah,
because that's got a proper sequel as well.
Yeah, which is good.
And yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah.
Is it Crunk's New Groove? Isn't it? It's
Crunk's New
film,
Groove.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Crunky boy.
Crunky boy.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I like all the cast of characters in Atlantis. I think they're better than the pirate ship.
There's more to them. They've got
the explosive guy. I think is hilarious. Just how
into bombs,
how into bombs he is, and how French he is with his mustache, and he's wearing just like a chest plate the entire time in case he blows himself
He's
up.
like cherry bombs.
I got cherry bombs. I got dynamite.
My favorite character is Mole. He's just hilarious.
He's not my favorite character.
He's like I just found him as a child. I found him really funny.
He's weird. He's a weird guy.
He's just a weird dude. I found him really funny.
I like how he talks to his dirt.
Yeah.
And on the bed at the start, he's got all these different dirts from different regions.
Yeah. And he's got like the brush that comes out of his hat.
Like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
As a man,
it's awesome. It's like a dirt
studied
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah,
that is a lot of what soil people are like.
Yeah, I like the mechanical woman. She's like 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like
robot woman,
but her dad's in jail or whatever. Like it's no trim, or it's trimmed to shit. Atlantis, and I think that's really good. Like maybe they're stereotypical characters, but it makes for good archetypes. Like it just gets their character across straight away, and it's very D&D because they just kind of say who they are and like what their backstory is, and it's like this isn't how real people talk. But in a film like this, like you understand where they're coming from. I mean, I can't remember any of the other backstories. The medic. I love him.
Oh yeah,
Dr. Sweet.
Yeah,
He's Dr. Sweet. He's so funny. His voice is like butter to my ears.
Yeah, it's great.
Butter to my ears.
But when he's like going to give Milo the inspection right at the very start, it's like he's just fucking moving him around because he's massive.
Yeah.
The idea of having a medic who is also just built like a brick house, I think is so funny.
But it's clever because medics used to, like surgeons,
because they needed to be strong.
And there's like a famous one called the Butcher or something that was able to do surgery on his own because he could hold you down and cut your arm off at the same time.
Do you want to know his full name, the doctor?
Yeah, go on.
His name is Dr. Joshua Strong Bear Sweet.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Strong Bear Sweet.
Strong Bear Sweet.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Sounds like a beer.
He's a good character. He's a great character.
Yeah. I like the old woman as well. I think she's very. She's just nothing. Constantly smoking. You would never have that now.
Nah.
You would not even in even some adult shows. They don't even do smoking.
Yeah.
Because it's like such a bad thing, which I think is weird.
But it's part of her character.
It's part of the character.
Relaxed and smoking.
And I had a grandma who just sat around and smoked all day. It's common enough. I feel like it's still common enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of old people who smoke.
Yeah.
My granddad only stopped smoking because they said it was bad for you, and he was like, "Oh,
same my granddad. Like, but this is set in
1914.
1914, so yeah, you're just going to constantly.
People were smoking.
Everyone would be smoking. The
surprising
doctor
that-
would
yeah,
be smoking.
they should all be smoking,
They should
really.
all be smoking. But
Yeah.
the idea
Especially the
is
French guy.
It's just
Smoking
well, he's
shit.
constantly got a
Match.
a match,
Or a
Yeah.
toothpick in his mouth.
No, but he's
Is it-
using
is
a
it
match as a toothpick just
Yeah,
constantly
yeah.
because he's constantly ready to go to blow something up. Nothing special to her about this trip. Like, it's just the most mundane thing in the world. She's just constantly on the phone. He took a suitcase, Marge. I don't think he's coming back. And she says that line as the Leviathan thing is attacking.
She's on the phone.
She's on the phone, just going. He took a suitcase, Marge. He's not coming back. Yeah, I think they're all funny. I think they're all funny in their own ways. I think they all work together. And the guy who turns out to be bad makes sense.
Well, they need to build up those characters enough and to have enough of a relationship with Milo
That
in
the
order for them to
twist
turn
is-
on them
yeah.
and to make. But I mean, I would have preferred a bit more time in Atlantis, I think.
Well,
But do you think it was building
yeah.
up to be a sequel? Do you think they had a plan for it to be a sequel? Because obviously, what I find strange is obviously this didn't do very well, and it's got a sequel. And in some ways, I think this was made to be have a sequel, whereas Treasure Planet, I don't think was.
But all these films have sequels.
Has Treasure Planet got a sequel?
Sorry, not Treasure Planet. Because Treasure Planet,
the ones we're talking about.
Treasure Planet is the last one. But what I mean is, like, Mulan has 2 sequels.
But it's whether or not they set them up to be sequels, I think.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are set up to be sequels.
'Cause I
But the idea of a sequel back then is just make another one. You don't have to set it up.
Well, but I think
what
for
you
me,
do-
Atlantis almost does that, sort of.
Well, they leave and he stays, so I don't think it does. I think it contains the story within itself.
I suppose quite a lot of the Atlantis story is actually told through exposition, where
It'd be the same thing with Treasure Planet. They would just find each other again. That is how you used to do sequels. You just like
Force them back
You
into
just
a
force them.
situation.
Yeah. You didn't have to think it through that much, and maybe you don't need to be honest. The older I get, I'm just like, just
Oh, there's also the old prospector kind of fella who does that, who's very good at stretching.
very good stretching and makes really bad food.
Yeah, because he makes a load of.
He makes the gruel
Grits or
every
gruel or
day.
whatever,
Yeah. Grits is meant to be grey. Something like that.
Talking about grey food last night.
Yeah, we were.
We were.
And you're a bendy man.
Yeah, no, well,
Yeah. You looked at him and you went, "Oh, that'll be me when I'm 70.
yeah, it was.
Even though I
always-
think that prospector dude is meant to be. I think the joke in the film is like he's 29 or something.
he's just a prospector,
and he just looks really old.
Yeah, that was all my
haggard.
party piece was folding in half. For a large man, you're very small now.
And then there's obviously
You're half the size, I would say.
there's
What?
Commander
Is that an Army
Rourke
board?
as well.
Yeah. I think he's good, and then basically what I call them is the woman is like a Nazi lady. She comes off very Nazi-ish to me because she got the freckle and she's got blonde hair
And leather gloves.
and leather gloves. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
And
also-
she sticks to being mean, doesn't she? Until
does stick to being mean.
he's mean to her. He Bobini's her.
yeah.
What do you think of the films? Obviously, now, like we obviously both like them, but what do you think about the kind of? Because obviously they're kind of made for children, predominantly, I guess.
Well, yeah.
But then obviously with these types of stuff, they try and put stuff in for adults to actually
Yeah, the adult
enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the adult jokes are good.
Good balance.
Yeah, I think so.
It has got also like Atlantis and not. I think Atlantis has more messaging in it than Treasure Planet. I think in terms of like there's the whole like progression versus preservation in Treasure Planet, or not Treasure Planet, in Atlantis type stuff.
I think the story of Treasure Planet / Treasure Island is quite profound, and it's
Yeah.
in a lot of stuff of redemption and coming of age and growing into your own skin, and I think they're all
But I think they're more lessons for children.
redemption
Well, the overarching thing, the redemption, obviously
for
not
Long
so.
John Silver.
Yeah, for Long John Silver, I suppose is more.
What was he actually called what's the cyborg?
John Silver.
And they just call him the cyborg, don't they? Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe there was a clever.
Silver John.
I don't know, titanium or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
But I think
you know what I mean?
that would be a specific lesson for someone that's a bit like John Silver. Whereas I think Atlantis is more of a
Yeah,
general.
I mean, I think it's good going back and watching these types of films as an adult and just kind of reminding yourself of simple messages of be nice and
It does always come down to be nice.
yeah, be nice to your friends and like
And if someone else isn't being nice, just leave it.
yeah. And punch a Nazi in the face.
If you need to.
It's good messaging.
Yeah. I think
It's Good message.
I don't, like
Clean.
If this,
Clean, straight to the point.
When I watched Treasure Planet again, it made me realise, because I was obviously a kid when I watched it, made me realise why I liked it so much. And because of the things that were going on in my life at the time, my dad not being around and all that kind of stuff, I instantly had something in common with Jim. And that's why I liked it so much, because it was like an escape almost. And I still, even when I watched it for this, it still brought up those kind of feelings, and that's what it made. Just sort of reaffirmed why I enjoyed the film so much, because it's relatable. I
nearly cried.
Yeah,
the end of the montage, which is you've got the makings of greatness. It got me a little bit, and then I think the later point of when he lets him go.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're forgiving each other because they can sense how much they care for each other, but he can't say it. What does he say? I can't remember, but like he's like beating around the bush of it.
Who? Silver.
Yeah. And it's just like,
well, he's constant.
That's the thing. That's also a message to like not, because he's built up a shell because he's been chasing this thing for so long.
Say what you feel.
So he's been he's built up a shell because he has to be mean in front of the rest of them, and and look, they all die, so he's got no one to hide from anymore. So that's good. But the boy, breaks down his shell and. And now he feels all gooey love, and he's like, oh god,
he's literally like a typical bloke, just like feelings.
Yeah. Well, that's the
don't know what to do with them. But
a son needs a father, and a father needs a son. Is the kind
of exactly.
That's the message.
And
really.
I think that is his whole character arc is him constantly in conflict with himself. Of, do I chase my own greed, or do I let go and show my affection to this young boy that I care about
with really cool hair?
Yeah, with really cool hair,
the most 90s hair in the world.
It's all back now.
He has the curtains, an undercut, and a ponytail.
Yeah, short back and sides.
No.
Wait, we're a skin fade.
No, an undercut.
Yeah,
so
like, it's like a bowl,
different.
basically.
Oh, I don't know the words. And stuff.
No, because he.
It's like long.
Does he do the sides
like
as well? I
really,
thought it was just the backy undercuts.
No,
the sides
all the way.
long.
It's sort of like
a Viking
side,
style, like.
side, and then ponytail, and then curtains at the front.
But a fade fades. An undercut is harsh.
It's like a
It's a harsh contrast.
Harsh contrast. How many Disney films don't have a love interest as like part of the main story?
Treasure Planet,
because there's not in Treasure Island, basically.
But how many? But there aren't. Most of them have a love interest.
Yeah. They're built around it.
They fit one in, don't they? With Dilbert and the captain. But that sort of.
But that works for me.
Yeah, because it's not the main pull of attention.
Because it's a nerd and a strong woman.
Yeah.
And Dilbert's that's what he wants, really.
And they
just little Dilberts everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what he wants. Bit of cat.
And it's a dog. And he's
a dog and a cat.
Cat loves dog. I've got.
So
yeah.
But I think Atlantis, in comparison to Treasure Planet, explores sort of more adult themes, sort of like cultural reservation, like
That's
trying
what I mean,
it's more of an adult
societal level.
Yeah. Whereas Treasure Planet is just about
more personal,
relationships and an adventure, and Atlantis is like sort of has a bit more grown-up themes in terms of that sort of
Yeah, it depends what kind of like story you like, and I also like what story you're in the mood for, I guess. Because for me, it does come down to good characters, and there's probably more good characters in Atlantis.
There's more,
but the relationship between Jim and Silver is
the best
relationship in these two films. It's so good. Just when they're together having fun, and you're just like, that's all.
Well,
that's all people want, really, is connection.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet moves quickly, but those two are together as they move quickly. Whereas
it's just that
just lots of interaction.
For me, it is literally just that montage is a bit, and it's probably just a music choice, really.
I would totally agree with them.
That kind of grinds it to a halt.
It's so cheesy, but I think,
but it's for children.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so hard to remember as well. Being what? 6, 7 when this came out, and trying to remember how I would have felt.
But you got to think about the time of the movie. Like that track that they pick. I have no idea who it is or what song it is, but it's so early noughties. Yeah. It's a joke. Like any kind of Disney movie that has a montage has that kind of song over it at that time. So choice-wise,
it's interesting they didn't make a song though. That's what I thought.
Yeah, or just nice composition over it.
Or a piratey song, or
Like a slow folky one.
Yeah,
Used up all their budget
a
already.
shanty or something. But they're free.
Yeah, they should have done.
Yeah, you
They
get-
would have paid money to use this song.
Yeah, you get like library. They could have chosen any song they wanted.
They could have just got. I mean, obviously they have. Lion King's like Elton John, and they get
Scores are
and
pretty
Tarzan's Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
Phil
yeah.
Collins. They get these people in to do the soundtrack.
Tarzan and Lion King, both those soundtracks absolutely
Won
slap.
Oscars
Yeah,
as well.
Which is worth
Especially,
Yeah.
well, Lion
And
King
Disney,
is incredible.
Disney at that time as well, I think, were like, because Walt, I think, I mean, he was long dead by this point, but like liked credit.
acclaim,
Is that the word? Yeah. Like
critical acclaim.
they like the critical acclaim, and they like.
Well, it's a way of being promoted, isn't it? I suppose
Yeah.
it's quite a good.
Yeah,
effective
but
way
I
of doing
think
it.
because like Walt is like an old school guy,
Yeah,
the
certainly,
prestige of it,
The prestige.
the prestigiousness
You'll get that.
of the awards is like, I think, was important to like Walt. Seven Dwarfs, that won an Oscar, I think.
Snow White.
Snow White, yeah, I think, because that's the first,
Not-
and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, people don't normally lead with
the Seven
the
Dwarfs.
Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the Seven Dwarfs.
The first animated film, feature film ever, by the way.
I think
1937.
Yeah, it's
Straight off the dome.
another one
I
is
know.
God.
It's not written down.
another point that I like about these films, especially as a kid, was when I would watch films with my sister or my cousins or whatever, and it would usually be a Disney film. They'd all have songs and shit in them. And don't get me wrong, I love a movie with songs in, like Mulan, for example. Wicked.
Me
Love
and Ed
it.
listened to
Some of
the
the
Mulan soundtrack back from the Lake District 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, in the car. It was
know what I
great. Yeah. But I
Very short.
think yeah, it is. It makes, I said, like, is that it? And then, like, Kat was like, yeah, there's literally like 6 songs in it. I was like, oh,
Oh, fuck.
gutted.
They're all bangers.
I want
They're
more.
bangers.
Yeah. Mate, if it ain't
Like
if
pack
it
a
ain't broken,
punch.
don't fix it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd watched so many films and they all were sort of like semi-musical with songs and shit or whatever in them. But with this one, it was these two. That's a nice break. I got to pick
Yeah.
a couple of films and I picked these two and they didn't have songs in. And I was like, yes.
Yes.
What a touch. Like, I can just watch it.
Me and my brother watched these over and over again, along with like, I don't remember watching Titan AE, but my dad says apparently I used to watch that on repeat.
What's that? I've never heard of that one.
It's a Matt Damon space one, animated. Yeah.
Is it Disney?
I don't know. It's quite famous.
What's
Quite,
Titan AD?
Titan AE.
AE.
AE. It's quite a big one, but I don't remember that one specifically. I think the Atlantis is the end of like that kind of one. Like Hercules obviously was massive. Hercules is good as well, and that's good songs.
Yeah.
Especially the start, the Hercules one at the start. That's a good one.
But
Yeah,
talking
it's
about,
Disney.
talking about critical acclaim, quite a lot of critics did not like these films.
No,
when I was-
which is weird.
Didn't
I
like
was-
the characters. Yeah, they don't like the characters and they don't like the narrative.
Yeah.
either.
But I think
Which is crazy with Treasure Planet because it's such
Famous
a
story.
famous narrative and story. It's like,
Yeah. I think they're almost like underground Disney films. It's sort of like the people who like them because they're not very well known. If you know what I mean.
They
Like,
didn't do very well. I think that's. I think people are going back.
well,
and
these
watching them
films,
again and
these
being like,
films
they're quite good.
are about underdogs, and the films themselves are underdogs.
Yeah, but
There's not a cool character at the centre.
I would say I think
Wow.
most people our age who have seen
That was
both of
stunning.
these films.
Oh, sorry, I have to stop there. Stunning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
the kind of stuff you can hear.
I think people our age who have seen both of these films would say that they're banging.
They would at least like one of them,
Yeah.
I'd say.
So
if
to
not
see the
both.
score is mad because
Yeah.
it's also adults reviewing it.
I mean,
for-
what's the score of Mulan?
like if you got a room full of kids and like 100 kids who watched that film and said, "What do you reckon?" They'd
But the
all probably
critics
be
do
like,
like other
"This
Disney
is great."
films, though. So
But like Disney
Yeah.
films, I mean,
They're so different.
We'll
though
get
to
there.
all the
We'll get
others
there.
that are-
that's why I think maybe
Yeah.
they don't like it. I don't know.
I think the reason like they don't like Treasure Planet is because Treasure Island is a classic. You don't mess with classics.
You don't mess with classics.
And now we're in a time where it's like reinvent it, whatever.
Mess with classics
just do
all
it
the time.
good. Just do it good.
Do something someone's heard.
And
of
I think
before.
Treasure Planet is a really good way to reinvent the Treasure Island story. And you also have created the building blocks for an entire galaxy that you could explore with stories.
Well,
they've set the foundations of that world.
Well, yeah,
which
yeah.
I think which is really interesting. You could tell loads of cool stories in that.
But I think part of the thing with Treasure Planet in particular is they went for it. They spent a lot more time on style. They've already got a story there. They'll just use that. But they had a stylistic vision, and they've made a lot of style choices Like, if you look at like other Disney films now, especially more recent ones, they obviously have a style, but there's nowhere near the same level of like artistic vision, I would say, that is in like Treasure Planet. That's
these are both passion projects, like Ed mentioned. These are both like passion projects.
Because how would you compare it to like recent ones? So if you think of like
Inside Out, I think we already have talked about it, but like Inside Out 2 made like 1.1 billion.
But it is clever.
Which is crazy.
That is mad.
It's fucking. Yeah. I mean, I like the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one.
But I really did enjoy the first one. I didn't know it was so popular.
Yeah, it was mad.
That's madness.
Yeah.
But that doesn't feel Inside Out, even though I like it, doesn't feel. I mean, most of these films are two people, by the way, that direct them.
Yeah.
It's normally a duo. Same with like Mulan, like all of these Renaissance films. Inside Out feels more committee made, like, but that's the way things are made. Things are made in writers' rooms, so it's not a bad thing.
But now there's unless you make writers in writers' rooms as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Unless you make a bad thing, then it is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Inside Out is a good thing, so it's good.
What about like Coco?
Yeah, I love Coco.
Because
Coco is great.
I think that's similar.
Coco makes me cry. Have you not watched it?
No,
it's worth watching.
Oh,
it's like Mexican Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that on Disney Plus, but I've not watched it. I've been meaning to watch that.
Good.
I was gonna ask these two films aside. Gun to your head, Jules. I'll ask you first. What's your favourite Disney movie?
Floating gun to your head.
I know what it is. I bet I can guess what your film. It's Mulan.
Yeah, because I used to watch that as a child.
Mulan
I didn't
is
watch
good.
that many films as a child or as an adult
Mulan is great,
or a teenager.
so it's perfectly.
Mulan. I think of the recent ones, Coco is
up there.
I was blown. I really was.
It is really,
and it just kept
it's
being
beautiful.
Really good.
The story's good.
Yeah.
So what would you say then?
My favourite,
like your go-to one, if you had to, like, don't think, just say.
Well, I'm constantly thinking.
I can't help it.
I can't stop myself thinking, unfortunately. I wish
should try it sometime.
I wish I could.
I really like Tangled. I think Tangled is good.
Tangled. Oh yeah. Is that the Rapunzel one?
Yeah.
I watched that the other week. I
good.
did. Well, I mean, I probably fell asleep a little bit.
Well, yeah. Great.
To be honest, the scene you're talking about in Treasure Planet where they do the montage.
Yeah.
I couldn't really talk about much in that because
You fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep, but I just kind of spaced out.
You close your eyes.
Montages do, unless they're very like and I'm interested into.
And
I just drift off.
It's fair enough. I mean, it is fair enough because it's not very good. If I was
Floating gun to your head.
Floating gun to my head. Don't want to say Mulan as well, but
Mulan is good.
Are we all going to say Mulan?
The style of Mulan is so good.
It's so good, and it's so good that there isn't a full soundtrack because when the Hun attack the camp,
that's it for the songs.
In the song "Make a Man Out of You," that's it, and that makes it even more impactful. And that was a deliberate choice to do it that way.
And China is pretty cool.
And the way they do the animation with like the fireworks is like traditional Chinese artistry as well. You know, the little swirl. Oh, yeah, I love it.
I've talked myself into it.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell. It would either be one of these two films or Mulan or Tangled.
Or Tangled, really. Is it far?
Yeah, I really like Tangled. I like the characters in it. I think she's a really good character.
She's by far she makes it.
Flynn Rider's fun enough and good enough, but she's really good. The mother is really good. Like an evil mum. And I can't remember who plays her, but she's really good, and the song
which is
really
like
good
guilt
at the
trip
start.
songs.
And just that idea of mums guilt tripping their daughters and telling their daughters, oh, how pretty and thin you are and all that stuff, and how real. Yeah, I think it's really good. Mulan.
Nice.
What about you, Ed?
What about you?
Is it also Mulan?
I mean, Mulan is definitely up there. That's for sure. I think
was so pleased with you guys said.
I liked when you said about the more recent ones. The more recent one I really like is Brave. I really like that.
I've never watched Brave.
Oh, have you not?
I've heard good things.
It's good.
It's good.
I like that one
Is
a
there
lot.
singing in that? Because they don't show off any singing in clips.
There might be.
Is there a song?
There might be.
I think
I'm pretty sure there is.
Kind of a
actually.
Scottish.
Yeah,
you know,
I think there's
kind
one
of-
where she's on her own, singing a bit, and then she wins a tournament. Maybe they sing then. I can't. I watched it a while ago.
It's
but
cool.
good.
It's like like Celtic
Do you know-
clans and stuff.
I'm
It's
pretty because
brilliant.
Brave's pretty successful. I didn't realise How to Train Your Dragon was so successful.
So successful. It's
in the billions. Like
Yeah, I think next to Kung Fu Panda, it's the other big one for DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Which is the other company.
That's the other one.
Is the other? Well, obviously
Well,
Shrek.
Pixar.
Shrek is the. If you remove Shrek, because Shrek is an anomaly. Shrek is an anomaly of how massive it is.
Yeah.
It's made so much money.
Yeah.
It's insane, and it's everywhere. And
That's why they're having to make another one.
yeah, I mean, I think they're happy to do it. I think it looks fine. Everyone's complaining about
Shrek the fourth
animation.
one
I
is
think
bad.
it looks fine.
Got to keep relevant.
And Puss in Boots 2 was one of the best animated films I've ever seen.
Puss in
Yeah,
Boots
Puss
is
in Boots is
surprising, yeah.
brilliant.
So good. The animation of that. And because they get the guy that plays Pablo Escobar, he is the wolf. I love him. He's in like he's popping up at the moment. I really like him as an
Yeah.
actor. He was good in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and
Another one of my all-time favourites is The Incredibles.
Incredibles is great. I love Incredibles.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Well, because at the end, the thing that pisses me off about Incredibles is the end of Incredibles.
It's too far.
Too far. Too soft.
The end of Incredibles sets it up for the next one.
Incredibly
and I was
well.
waiting for maybe a decade for Incredibles 2.
It was 17 years, I think, something like that.
Yeah, but I gave up waiting after a decade.
Well, the thing is, that storyline's in the game.
Yes, yeah.
So
And
you
the
have to
game
play
is
the game's
which
good.
I only had the demo disc of, so I only played that first
I
level
had so
over
many
and over.
demo discs.
So many demo discs.
But yeah, I think Disney classics, it's got to be, Mulan. Mulan's up there. Mulan. I
Mulan's
just
up
don't want
there
to say
as another
Mulan
top.
because we've all said Mulan, but I'm trying to think. I can't think of it.
I mean, we've watched Mulan together at least 3 times,
Yeah.
if not more.
It is a sick film. It's
What
so
other
good.
Disney classic? What other Disney film are we watching together? And not just us, the rest of the boys as well.
I'm not sure.
And we put on Make a Man Like You when we're
Yeah.
at house parties.
Let's get down to business. So good. Or
to the
Bambi.
feet.
That was
I don't like Bambi.
traumatizing as a child. When
I
a
don't
mum
like Bambi.
dies, that's mad. Spoilers, sorry.
Fox-
Pinocchio.
Fox and the Hound.
I've never seen that one.
Oh. It will break your heart.
Peter Pan.
My brother used to put
It's
it
good.
on and just bawl his eyes out. Like he was like he couldn't stop. He loved it so much, but he knew how sad it would make him. It was crazy.
I've got a list of all the Disney classics.
Did you have it on? Did you have them all on VHS?
Yeah.
and they all had the big covers, and they were color coded, weren't they? So they like fit nicely on your. Did you?
No.
No, I can't imagine.
I've got a list.
We
here.
would rush home from primary school to put a video. That's what I remember of being like a kid. It's like
So we got.
I watched Black.
I'm not going to read all of them because there's bare, but I'll read the ones,
The big ones.
the notable ones. So you got Pinocchio,
nah, not my thing.
Dumbo,
No.
Peter Pan.
Nah.
Yeah.
I liked Peter Pan.
I
used to watch that.
I like all the stuff around Peter Pan as well.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I like
Decent.
Beauty and the Beast. I like some of the songs, but it's good in other formats as well. Like Panto Beauty and the Beast is good, and other stuff like that.
The Sword in the Stone. Forgot about that one. That's a
Nah,
banger.
not bothered. That's the Merlin
Should have been
Arthur one, isn't it?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Talks about that one. Cinderella, Fantasia, Lady and the Tramp. That's all right. Bit dodgy. But bit dodgy now. Doesn't play now. The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid was always like fine. I don't understand why some people are obsessed with that one.
People like long hair in the sea.
Under the Sea is a good-ish song.
Alice in Wonderland is another one.
Yeah, it's
Like
fine.
Disney
It's
films.
fine. Yeah, they own Alice in Wonderland. Disney do.
But yeah, I mean,
I see.
there are some pretty, out of the classics.
So is Mulan.
Mulan, yeah. I mean, Pinocchio's up there. I remember really liking Pinocchio.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about Pinocchio.
I did used to watch it.
Do we have numbers for this?
Yes, I do have numbers. Do you want numbers first, or do you want
Do not.
miscellaneous notes?
I think numbers first.
Numbers first. Okay. So as talked about before, Atlantis from 2001, and then Treasure Planet 2002/3. It's like a big gap, but I can't remember the specifics. It's like 6 or 9 month gap between regions getting it. It's crazy. I don't know why. Probably some rights issues. What I will do first is the IMDb scores. Atlantis has a 6.9, which I think is just
So unfair.
Grit in your
unfair.
teeth.
Honestly, and Treasure Planet has a 7.2. Bit better, but not great. And then I looked up Mulan, just for reference, as a 7.7.
That's criminal. That is criminal,
Call the
mate.
police, 'cause-
7.7.
7.7.
My voice is gone. That's mad.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That's crazy.
Honestly though, 6.9. That is
for
mad.
Atlantis is
That's
it looks so good. And
harsh.
like the big Leviathan,
very, very harsh.
the big ships, the Leviathan ships, and the crab that comes along and kills it. What is it? Lobster / Leviathan
Big old
attack.
thing.
So many dead. So many people die in Atlantis.
Oh yeah,
as well.
huge.
So man, they
massive
start
death
off.
count.
It's a massacre.
They start off with a crew of like 1,000,
Well, it's a
and
big
then there's
old
like,
submarine.
and then there's like 4 of them.
They need to be fair. They need to make their money back. If I got to Atlantis, I'd be like, I need some shit to take back because this submarine is top.
I've got
money.
so many widows to pay.
Do you know how much payouts I'd be paying? I mean, that's got to be a million, couple $1 million each. I mean, today's money, obviously not back then. Jeez,
So yeah,
a couple pounds.
but I think that's just all criminal, and I think it's people not respecting animated films
And children Disney films.
and not respecting children's films. But like, I bet I'll look this up. Another great film from this era that I love is The Iron Giant.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hogarth.
Hogarth. I am
What a boy.
Superman.
Yeah.
That's so Iron Giant's got an 8.1.
I remember
incredible,
going to see that in the cinema with my mum and dad
And bawling your eyes out.
and being like, this is incredible. I remember
It would make me cry now.
You and your brother are just constantly crying.
Yeah, we're emotional. Emotional little boys. that's for
Emotional
sure.
boys, yeah.
Cry together? Yeah.
Yeah. It's making me well up thinking about it.
But I really enjoy the bit where he's trying to get Hogarth to tell him where the giant is, and then he puts laxatives in his milkshake. Fucking
Yeah, that's a
brilliant.
very
And it's
new-
Bruce Willis and it
very-
does the voice as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
It's great.
it's fantastic.
But right, we can't
Rotten
talk about
Tomatoes
so many films.
for
Yeah, go on.
Treasure Planet is 70%, and for Atlantis is 50%, I think. So that's pretty.
So that's is this user or is this
Critic.
Yeah, either one. Take your pick.
Cheers. I mean, Ed.
Oh, well.
Because
Take your pick. I think
because IMDb
I think
is
they were much of a
public.
muchness. I think I've taken the average. So I think the critics one was like
I mean, that's
49.
that's what Rotten Tomatoes does. It takes an average.
But they gave you both. So they had like the critics was like 49 maybe, and the audience was 52 or something, and then 69, 71 or something. I think.
Yeah, the critic one is 48%
Fuck off.
for Atlantis.
Yeah.
That's
dickheads.
So I have taken
that
the
is
average.
criminal.
It just sounds like pretentious arseholes being dickheads. This isn't
What,
cinema.
us?
Me in particular.
No, it is mad though. Like, I think that is harsh for a film like that. It is very harsh. Yeah,
Like you say, I think it's stuck around.
you should be
for-
ashamed
for
of
like
yourself.
people,
Whoever did that.
Yeah,
Shameful for that
our
large group of
generation.
individuals. that did
These
that.
films have stuck around with us
Yeah.
They've come back because people have gone back and gone, I actually like these films.
because they're fun.
They're fun.
Everything needs to be fucking,
And then let's
Love
have Treasure
interest.
Planet,
Still
shall we?
yeah.
Oh, was that Atlantis?
That was Atlantis.
Yeah.
48%.
Treasure Planet 70.
And then Treasure Planet is
No trust in
69.
me.
You were wrong.
I wasn't because I took the average.
I mean,
Roughly.
okay,
Critic.
so it makes more sense.
Popcorn meter
Yeah,
73.
what the IMDb.
Exactly.
I mean, it's in line
Users
with what the
73.
IMDb said as well. But yeah, just a bit criminal, really. Let's do Atlantis first for budget because it came out first. So the budget of Atlantis, what I had was 90 to 120 million.
Yeah.
There's a big old gap. Someone pocketed some money, I think. And the box office was 186. So,
Yeah, 30 million is quite a big gap, isn't it?
It's a-
How much did it cost? 90, maybe 120.
well, especially
Well, which one is it? Write the check.
You've added a third.
Write the check at 90 to 120 million and then just leave it.
Yeah.
If
Write the
it-
check.
I'll
man.
cash either one.
If it's documented as like 90 and then someone goes, actually it's 120, you've added a third of your budget. Like that's
Yeah.
massive.
Maybe
In
that's
terms of that.
advertising on top. Maybe they did that. I don't know.
No, marketing isn't part of this.
No,
like that's the thing. You have to. That's why this isn't. This
Made any
doesn't make
money.
any money. Because if you look at that, you go, "Oh, it made money," but actually, you have to take 90 to 120 million times it by 2
Ish.
ish, and everyone's different and blah blah blah.
And Disney's
it doesn't
probably got
matter.
better reach
And
and all that kind of
yeah, and
stuff.
Disney probably has. Yeah,
But it made
Scapegoat.
186 million, so
So 186. So even if it was 90, that would mean it made 6 million, which means it's a fucking flop. You know?
because you could just put that in some bonds
And it did, and it definitely lost money. Like, it just definitely lost money. And for Treasure Planet, which I find this interesting, so after Atlantis, they pumped 140 million into Treasure Planet next, and that only got a return of 109 million.
Yeah, which is big.
So it didn't even make its budget back.
By 30 million.
And if you then times it by 2, so that's 280 million for advertising and marketing. You know,
170.
That's losing so much.
So you're
money.
looking at least 150, maybe. That's a lot of money.
It's not as bad as like Tomorrowland. That's one of their famous flops. I was seeing that one. I think it's all right. But
well, I mean, for both of these films, it says that their both marketing campaigns were like very underwhelming. And as you said at the start, there was so many other things out in that year that are huge now, like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
To compete with that, any film to compete with
the prequels would be coming out as well, wouldn't it? Star Wars.
Yeah.
The first one's 99, so Clone Wars probably.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah.
I thought maybe I watched the last of the prequels in the cinema, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, you probably did.
How old am I? Yeah, well,
how old am I?
I always forget.
Yeah,
but yeah, like
I'm an age.
They are. Yeah, it just it doesn't say why they were underwhelming. I just would assume that they just got lost in the ether.
Maybe they didn't have to promote them.
When's Titan AE? Do you still have that tab up? Because I think that did quite well.
Titan AE got score wise on IMDb it got 6.6 and then 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of flops then.
Budget was 75 million.
Cheaper. Much cheaper.
That's a lot cheaper. So nearly half Treasure Planet. 140 million back then is a lot to put into a passion project.
It's good. That's how expensive 2D animation was.
Because they mixed 2D with 3D, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a bit of 3D. Did terribly.
Very bad.
It was Titan AE.
Oh, that is terrible. It did. So it says, again, the big gap, 75 to 90 million budget, and then it grossed 22 million. Oh, that's
worldwide.
Yeah.
So if they let's say budgeting brings up to like marketing brings up to like 140, 160.
Jeez. What year is that? What year is that?
2000.
2000.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It says here.
So these
the
three films.
The film was a financial disaster, with analysts estimating that it lost between 70 million and 120 million.
That's insane. So it's these three films back to back.
Yeah. It also underperformed overseas.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So it certainly didn't overperform, surely.
I mean, the other thing with Treasure Planet is that you have a film come out and then you don't have it come out in half the world until 9 months later. You just the rest of the world's got it because they'll just illegally download it.
Well, this is the crazy thing.
Napster
is
just came out, I think.
Yeah, Napster was
.com boom, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you got much more access to that kind of
So
stuff.
I think all that stuff had just came out, really.
But yeah, I mean, you can looking at just those. Well, the two films we're talking about here and that one. And that they all happened within years of each other, like 1 year of each other.
Right, let's go through some notes. I mean, what notes do I have left? I just have for Atlantis, it's funny, quote of, all right, who's not dead, sound off, I like that. Sexy woman, you swim, don't you? And he's like, yeah, I swim pretty good.
And also, he does. He swim. I mean, if I was him, I'd be bigging up my swimming much more than that. I'd be like, do I swim?
No.
I fucking watch.
I'll let these catalogue baggers speak for themselves.
I'm like a submarine. I didn't need that submarine.
Let me take my glasses off. See more clearly now.
I like the force field. I really like the force field. I mean, I like all the blue energy shit. Of course I do. I fucking love it. Fucking so cool. And when they all put their like gas masks on, they look like the Hun more so. I guess because what's the word for German in World War One that they say all the time?
Oh, I see. Yeah, the Hun.
It is the Hun. Yeah. It's because it's also the Hun in Mulan, isn't it?
It's another Hun.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm quite sure.
Too many Huns. That's why I was getting confused.
There's the same problem with Hannibal.
Just
you know what I mean? Different.
The Hun. George, what are your random notes that you can't read?
Interesting ones, that's for sure. But I think there's
of course there are.
So it was made in 1914, and then there are some things that they have which weren't invented in 1914. So there's woman chewing bubble gum, which wasn't invented.
Oh, I've read
later.
this list before of pedantic.
And then There was some like poster, some USA poster that hadn't been made yet. Mold's gun hadn't been created. The word cilantro hadn't been created yet either. Caesar salad hadn't been created.
The word cilantro hadn't been invented.
Apparently, yeah.
Coriander.
Yeah.
Yeah, coriander had been invented.
I do say cilantro a lot.
What else do I have as things that link these together? Both sea-based. Old Woman is funny. Yep.
We all thought the old one was fun.
Submarine
She
is...
reminded all of us of our grandmas.
The submarine is crazy. Because if you think about the submarine, if they have that technology, they win World War One.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I did have that thought as well.
Yeah. Why are they hiding?
Because what is it? Is it 1914 or is it 12?
No, well, I think it's 14.
So they haven't gone into World War One yet, then technically.
Well, the Americans don't ever.
Oh no, they don't do that.
No.
Bastards.
Living their best life.
But that's a different movie.
Yeah. Also,
Different podcast.
the Explorer felt very Graham Hancock vibes with all his like little things talked about all the different.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting when they were doing the. I mean, I do get it.
Well,
but
that's why I grew up to like all these kind of,
Yeah.
you know, I don't take them literally, like Graham Hancock. I don't take them literally, but they're interesting to.
they're interesting enough. Yeah.
Interesting enough.
I watched
Instantly.
maybe 1 or 2 episodes of his show
His
on
show,
Netflix
yeah.
where he's
Yeah.
going around all the Incan
Yeah.
ruins saying, being like, there's drill holes and shit like that. And I was just like, find a drill and I'll believe you.
Find a drill.
Yeah.
Let me
You know
drill.
what I mean? Let me drill. They drilled. All right. Let them drill.
But it's funny how the English letters match up to the ancient letters. But I think they do explain that a little bit.
Well, he's a.
The alphabet is they have a 27 letter
26.
26 letter alphabet, the same as
English, which
does.
is very convenient.
Yeah.
So it's like.
And it's
if you
like
could-
letter
if you
for
could crack the
letter
code.
translation, which is
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
nice for him as well.
But
Someone
obvi-
should have cracked that.
But obviously
for-
there is a ton of research into this stuff, and it's just I think it's
it's
meant,
not Ireland.
I think it's meant to.
Is it Ireland or Iceland the other way around? Which one is it?
We
Thought it was Ireland.
We
but
thought
it's
it was Ireland, but it was Iceland. Also, the fact that they never figured that out before, like he had never figured that out
Letter
before.
for letter.
It's just
You're translating letters for
you
letters.
would cross that off the list, wouldn't you? You're like,
well-
I think it's Ireland, but obviously it could be
C.
Iceland because obviously this happens all the time in my field of work where you're
One letter wrong.
you're one letter off and it just means a different place in the world. Yeah. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, and like his job is he's a linguist and
Yeah,
a
yeah,
cartographer.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, do your job, man.
Be better.
Do your job.
He's a very muscly linguist, is that? Anything else?
Anything else before my final little thing? We'll do this first. The thing I sent into the chat that hopefully neither of you clicked was a Disney Renaissance quiz.
I didn't even know you'd sent anything into the chat.
Hello, Ed here from the This or That podcast team. Unfortunately, the quiz that Callum chose to do was really difficult, so me and Jules didn't get any of the answers right up until about question 5. So instead of putting you guys through that ordeal, we decided to just give you the highlights of the quiz. So enjoy.
1 point. Only took
And we're off.
points on the board.
Come on.
Eddie Murphy, Star Trek. It's George Takei, you fucking idiots. Oh, come on.
I always forget these.
Do you not know who George Takei is?
In what?
The Little Mermaid.
I don't even know the film. God, was that?
That's an anticlimax, then,
Was
really.
that
isn't it?
it? Sorry, I thought
Might
there
not
was
make it
another-
in.
Might not be able to do that. I can't.
I swear there was another page.
And now we return to your regularly scheduled program.
So we'll decide which film we prefer. For me, this is very close, and to be honest, it's changed. I keep changing my mind, and I think during this podcast, I've taught myself into Treasure Planet being my favourite. I did come into this podcast with Atlantis. I was going to say Atlantis. I was going to say that I used to prefer Treasure Planet, but I think Atlantis is a better film, and I still believe Atlantis may be a better film, even though it's marked lower and made less money or something.
Made more money.
Made more money. Because I think it moves super quick, and I think the story is simpler. It's less heart, less emotion. I think the character, there's more good characters, but the character, like all the points I've made about these two films have convinced me that I prefer Treasure Planet. Even though maybe I think I could understand why more people would like Atlantis. I think it's more accessible. But I really like the emotional father-son relationship.
You like to cry, and Treasure Planet's more likely to make you cry.
Jules, don't make me cry.
Don't make me cry.
Don't make me cry.
Don't make me cry about crying.
So I was like,
I'm gonna freak out, you guys.
what's happening?
I was like, I probably,
My emotions.
you forget I'm an actor. I can get there. I can get there. I used to be able to. It's been many years. Right, Jules.
Atlantis. Yeah.
Is that your preferred?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right. Why? Was it close?
I think it was a little bit close. Yeah, I think I do quite like the style. I like the fact they had some vision with Treasure Planet. It's just not what I.
Not your thing.
Not my jam. Although I do like pirate stuff, but I like pirate stuff so much that I don't like it to be set in space. I want to be set on the sea. And Atlantis is cool. I've got, I do like South American, Central American history. I think that's pretty cool, which this leans into.
Yes,
I think for me.
Yeah, I like that.
Atlantis, pretty cool idea. For me, I don't need all the high energy stuff, but it's fine.
What would you have instead, though?
Just them being really cool guys.
Like era correct.
Yeah, I don't need them
technology.
to have like special technology. I think like Roman Empire and stuff is cool enough as it is. Had some pretty cool concrete and stuff like that. I do understand that's niche. So yeah, for me, Atlantis, just prefer it really, and that's that.
I mean, yeah. Right, Ed. I know this is probably a close call for you as well. You have tattoos of both these films as well. So.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Ed's a nerd.
Yeah, I am.
He's a nerd with tattoos.
You thought this guy was cool? He's a fucking nerd.
I'm a loser.
Fucking nerd, bro.
Yeah, this was like probably the hardest decision
You've ever made?
Not ever. Let's not get too
So
dramatic
far
about it, but like so
in
far
my life.
in the yeah, as far as decisions go, this was a toughie. No, in the realms of the podcast, the other ones have always been really clear cut for me, but this one's really difficult. But I think I'll have to stick with my heart and go with Treasure Planet. It's my favourite, man. It's just the one that I connected with the most as a kid. Really like the story, and it's just a banger. It's just such a good film.
I mean, in terms of characters that we're most like, me and Callum aren't really like any of the characters, and you are most like Jim.
Yeah.
Understandable for you to love yourself the most.
I mean,
but those two films
really good.
are. I'm glad that we picked those two because they're
I wanted something a bit more light and animation,
And-
we haven't done
and close,
animation.
and close to
and
cool,
close.
because all the other episodes they've been pretty
Yeah.
clear cut. So it was quite nice to have one where you actually had to dig into them to find the reasons as to why you preferred one
Yeah.
to the other.
Right, thanks everyone for coming by. Join us next week for another This or That. And I've been Callum.
I've been Ed.
And I'm Jules.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.